Hey guys, today I wanted to share with you something that has helped me shave some strokes off of my game, and that is a rangefinder. Now keep in mind, not all rangefinders are created equally. This one that I'm going to talk about today is the Cobalt Q6 Slope. It has premium features without the premium price. So I wanted to walk through everything that this offers, how I have been incorporating it in my practice routine and also when I've been playing some games, and how it has helped me improve myself as a golfer. And guys, if you're new here, my name is Chonger. I'm an average golfer with the goal of trying to get to scratch. Follow along on this journey with me as I share different things that help me along the way, such as gear reviews, club fittings, practice routines, etc. So yeah, hit that subscribe button if you aren't already, and let's dive into this video. So as mentioned in this video, we're going over the Cobalt Q6 Slope, and just to compare this to some of the other rangefinders, if I were to make a graph and I had the axes price and performance, on the high end on both the price and performance, you have the Bushnell Pro X3, and then on the opposite side of the spectrum, you'd have some cheaper options from Amazon. And the Cobalt Q6 Slope just fits below the Bushnell Pro X3 on performance and at a much friendlier price point. So when I was looking at different rangefinders, I didn't want to spend $150 more on the Bushnell Pro X3 when the main differentiator between the two is Bushnell has this thing called element compensation, where it factors in the wind in your distance. I've heard that the results do have a bit of a delay. And for me, what I wanted from a rangefinder was to be able to pick it up, get a quick result, and move on with my shot, helping with the pace of play, not get me out of the flow. I don't want this rangefinder to be an inconvenience. And then also too, since I aspire to play in some more tournaments, you wouldn't be able to use that anyways. So I didn't really see a point in spending $150 more. And then comparing this to another popular option, the Voice Caddy TL1 at the same price point, this one just has more features. So really, all roads just led to this rangefinder. So what makes this rangefinder so great? Let me break down the features that I love about it. So the first thing is 7x magnification. Most of the cheaper rangefinders on the market have 6x magnification. And for me, I don't have the best depth perception, so definitely having that extra magnification helps, and you're able to lock in on the green and be able to see the slopes a lot better. So the next thing I like about this is the build quality. It's pretty hefty, has a good weight. I like the grip on it. It's very sturdy. All of the buttons and dials have great feedback on them. This does not feel like a cheap build at all. I also like the minimalistic display when looking through this rangefinder. When I first started using a rangefinder, I would just borrow my friend's, and I picked up his one, and there was just so much on the display. And it being my first rangefinder that I've ever used, I was a bit overwhelmed. I didn't really know what I was looking at. This is perfect for your first rangefinder. You're able to pick it up, be able to zap your distance. It's very clear what you need to hit to. Now, maybe you might argue that it's a bit too simplistic because it just shows one yardage. If you have the slope function on, it'll just give you the adjusted distance, not give you both the true distance and then the slope adjusted difference. So I mean, it's a bit of preference, but for me, I like a clean, minimalistic display. Don't want to get too bogged down on all of the details. I just want to know what number and be able to hit to it. Another great thing about this is the accuracy, and I think that is probably the most important feature of a rangefinder. You want something that is accurate, and I've seen a lot of people compare this to the Bushnell Pro X3, which is the gold standard, I think, for a lot of people when they consider rangefinders. And this held its own, given very similar results to the Bushnell. This does measure yardages in tenths of a yard, so it is a bit more precise. Do you really need the tenth of a yard? No. But then on the other side of the spectrum, I've compared it to my friend's cheaper rangefinder on Amazon. We zapped a 200+ yard par 3, and we were off by like 3 or so yards, which I know might seem like not that much, but if I'm paying for a rangefinder, I want something that's accurate. Another great thing is the flag target lock. So a lot of the other rangefinders will just vibrate when you lock on to any kind of target, but this only locks on to the flag. I really like that because, if I'm zapping a flag and there happens to be a tree behind it, some of the other rangefinders might pick up the tree instead of the flag. And I would not know that unless I'm using something like this where I know that only the flag will get zapped. Another nice feature is that this has IPX7 waterproof rating. So I do live in Vancouver and it is known to rain here. So when I am playing those winter golf rounds, just having the waterproofing just gives me an additional peace of mind. So that is a nice feature to have for me. A thing we also can't overlook is the case that it's in. It's very secure and it's also very accessible. So for me, I'm always putting it back in the case and it's very easy to grab it and zap your distance and put it back in. So it doesn't affect your pace of play whatsoever. I find this a very seamless experience, which I think is very important when you're using a rangefinder. One thing that I'll say that is missing is there is no magnet for you to stick it on the side of a golf cart. For me, I don't really find that too big of an issue because I usually walk most times. I rarely ever drive in a power cart, so I didn't think that that feature was of that much use to me. Okay, so I talked about the features. Now let me just quickly run through this rangefinder. Obviously at the top, this is how you zap the distances. On the side, there is a button to switch between yards and meters. And you have to actually hold the button to change the distances. So don't worry if you accidentally press that button. This dial here adjusts the brightness of your rangefinder. And if you want to have your rangefinder adjust for slope, then you can hit this thing and then a red light will show. And so, you can't get away in a tournament if you're using the slope function. Your playing partners will be able to know, they'll be able to see this red dot here. This compartment right here is how you get to the battery. So you just unscrew it and then the battery goes in there. The blue dial helps with the focus. And then you can also adjust the view if you are wearing glasses or not. And I would just say that this rangefinder is in a nice form-fitting body. Feels very nice in the hand to hold. I do like the grip. It feels very secure. And then so yeah, that's the rangefinder. One thing that maybe would be nice to see is some different colors. For me though, blue is my favorite color. So I mean, I don't have an issue with that, but perhaps if other people wanted some different colors, I think that would be a nice thing to add. Okay, but then now that I think about it, maybe because the name's Cobalt, it's blue. So you know what, just scratch that. All right, so now that I ran through some of the features, I just wanted to share with you how I have used this rangefinder to help improve my game. So when I am taking this out to practice, I go to the driving range and I'm working on distances under 100 yards. So I'm just able to pick up my rangefinder and zap different targets. So let's just say I have a 65-yard target. And now before I even have this rangefinder, I didn't even know that target was 65 yards away. But I also didn't know how far my wedges went at different clock hand positions. So for instance, 9, 10, 30, etc. Knowing one, the distance, and then also better knowing my wedges has been a result of having a rangefinder. So now I know if I have a 65-yard shot, I can maybe do a 9 o'clock 54 or a 10:30 60, depending on what the shot requires. If I need to land it higher and soft, or I need to get it under something, might dictate which wedge I would use in that particular situation. And I can just keep practicing different iterations, different distances. And it also just helps keeping your practice a bit more dynamic so you're not hitting the same shot all of the time. And then when I'm actually out on the course and I'm using this rangefinder, I have found that I'm a lot more committed in my shots. And I think one thing that you'll find is you perform the best when you are confident. If you can visualize the shot and you commit to the shot, you have a better chance of actually executing. For instance, if I'm zapping the flag and let's just say it's like 125 yards away, I know for me that I can make a fully committed pitching wedge swing, hopefully land it pretty close to the flag. And so just knowing those exact distances, because before I used to play with the GPS app and it gives you a rough approximation of where to hit it to because it gives you the center of the green and the front and the back. But it's sometimes hard to kind of judge your actual distance that you should be hitting to based on where you're currently standing. So this rangefinder just gives you a lot more clarity and it gives you a lot more confidence that you're hitting to the right yardage, because you might be off by like 5 or 6 yards if you're using the GPS app. And that 5 or 6 yards potentially could be the difference between you getting over the green, missing the green, like, you know. So you definitely want to be precise, especially when you are getting close to the green and you're within the scoring distances. So why do I think the Q6 slope is a great value? So when I'm buying new golf gear, whether it is a rangefinder or new clubs, I'm always looking for something that will last and also something that I'm feeling like I'm getting a good deal out of. So this does have a lifetime warranty, so that gives me that peace of mind. So why do I think I'm getting a good deal out of this rangefinder? Is because, you know, it has a lot of premium features like the 7x magnification, sturdy build quality, waterproofing, quick lock-on of targets, flag vibration, and, you know, I'm saving $150 compared to the Bushnell Pro X3. And then also when I'm comparing it to other rangefinders at the same price point, it has a lot more. You know, the Voice Caddy TL1, it only has 6x magnification. So, you know, at this particular price point, I just think that it has the most features. So that is my take on the Cobalt Q6 Slope rangefinder. If you're looking for a rangefinder with premium features without the premium price, then this might be the one for you. Anyways, if you've enjoyed the video, smash the like button, subscribe if you aren't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace. I'm a rock star.